Welcome to City News at 6. I'm Nima Rajan, and it's a big day for Americans as they hit the polls and select the next president of the United States. A major milestone in history could be made tonight if Kamala Harris wins the presidency as the first woman and female person of color to hold the top position. But recent polling shows that it's still an extremely close race between Harris and Trump. Now, it is very early on, but Trump is currently leading with 105 electoral votes to Harris's 27. Our Mark McAllister joins us live from Washington tonight. Now, Mark, it really comes down to 7 battleground states to determine the outcome here. It's 8 p.m. and polls have closed. Tonight, BC decides.
And October 19th, we are going to turn this province blue.
And it's time for us to put British Columbians first.
We won't stop until the job is done.
Will it be a Rustad-led Conservative government? Or will British Columbians entrust Eby with another term? Your election coverage starts now. Good evening and welcome to our special live coverage of Election BC. From Vancouver to Vernon, Port Moody to Port Hardy, Kelowna to Kamloops and everywhere in between, the polls have now closed across the province. And we have you covered everywhere this evening. We're live at all the major party headquarters. Our Jack Morse is tracking the BC NDP, who are live in downtown Vancouver. Monica Gould is on location also in Vancouver with the Conservative Party of BC. And our Joe Sadowski is standing by on the island with the Green Party in Victoria. And we're also live in some battleground locations across Metro Vancouver. On the Surrey Delta border is our Cecilia Hua alongside Dilbar Kang from Omni News. And in Richmond this evening is our Kier Junos and Karen So from Omni News. And as Cecilia mentioned, the wildfire situation near Jasper remains one of the most volatile right now. And in breaking news in the last hour or so, one of the wildfires threatening the area has reached the town site. Officials say efforts to contain the blaze were unsuccessful this afternoon, with dangerous conditions, meaning water bombers could not fly. Across this two-part special investigation, our team will travel by land, air, and sea to provide you with a full-scale picture of what the big one could look like.
Let's go.
Let's go. And how it may impact Vancouver and surrounding areas. We'll bring you interviews with industry-leading experts in the fields of science, engineering, policy making, and natural disaster preparedness, providing you with the most up-to-date information so you can prepare for what may be the biggest disaster to impact the Pacific Northwest in modern history. Now, the fallout from North America's largest earthquake is expected to have long-lasting economic effects. Tell me a little bit more about the damage here. How many lives lost? What is the aftermath of an earthquake of this magnitude? Carlos, we're walking in Gastown right now, the oldest commercial district in Vancouver, and you can really see that in the infrastructure. We've got cobblestone-lined streets, historic buildings, but if we take into consideration all that history, Carlos, how would an area such as this fare in a magnitude 9 earthquake?
This region could experience considerable damage.
So how long is it going to take you to get to safety? Well, City News is going to put this to the test. I'm standing here at North Chesterman's Beach, one of the most popular tourist destinations of the region. Now imagine a tsunami hits. The sirens blare, starting off a 20-minute countdown for you to get to higher elevation. Let's start the timer. Looking at the Tofino District evacuation map, the closest safe point to North Chesterman's Beach is above Parley Place. From shoreline to safety, I need to cover a near 2.3 kilometers of distance and 50 meters of elevation gain. All right, so we now reach the car park. We're already 4 minutes down from the shoreline. Now, this route isn't clearly marked, although there are evacuation signs like this one. It's unclear which direction I need to head in. It's a race against the clock. I'm at Parley Place, about 300 meters from the safety point. All right, so I just made it to higher ground, the closest elevation point from Chesterman's Beach. But did we make it on time? Unfortunately not. Now, Gene's teachers would actually hold him back after school, making him miss the bus and forcing him to walk along this very highway, a walk that would take hours upon hours for him to get home. I'm sure there's a lot of anger within a lot of people within Indigenous communities due to the residential school system. What happens after experiencing this? What happens to the community? Let's talk first about public safety. I understand that's a major concern for Vancouverites. That was a major concern ahead of the election as well. But the recent public safety indicators indicators report from the VPD indicated a reduction in crime in the city in the first half of 2024 compared to 2023. So, but from the Vancouverites that we've been speaking to, it seems that they don't really feel that safe. So why is there what seems to be a dichotomy here between the numbers that we're seeing in this report and the sentiments that we're hearing from Vancouverites?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Nima, so thank you for asking me that.
All right, and when it comes to random stranger attacks, this would be my last question regarding this. I want to go back to a recent press conference where you were quoted saying, Vancouver is not unsafe, and this was after the high-profile one that involved someone having their arm severed, another man lost his life.
Right.
So you were quoted saying, Vancouver is not unsafe, that is all hyperbole. In any big city, there will be shootings, stabbings, and violence. So would you say that there is a bit of normalization or desensitization within the VPD when it comes to addressing severe cases like this? Thanks for that, Joe. Now, Hamish, it seems that the Conservatives are having a bit of a healthy lead so far. Is this to be expected?
I think it's a little bit of a surprise.
Now, when we talk about these cases, when we talk about how the justice system handles cases like this, Tanya Hollick, these 20 victims, we're talking about your Aunt Belinda Williams, her disappearance. What role does Canada's justice system, does BC's justice system play in the healing of Indigenous communities in this province, in this country? And some of the reasoning behind this recent move by the province was public safety. We had instances of police officers saying that there was public drug consumption around family-friendly spaces. So how do we balance this, Johnny, this concern around public safety while also practicing compassion to those affected by this crisis? Welcome to City News at 6. I'm Nima Rajan. At least 11 people have been killed by fast-moving wildfires that are continuing to tear across the LA area. It has caused unprecedented destruction, and officials say the death toll is expected to rise. Well, joining us now from Burbank, California, is Edmontonian Maeve McGrath. Maeve has lived in Los Angeles for over 25 years and has been evacuated from Altadena. She's bravely sharing her story with us tonight. Maeve, thanks again for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So first of all, we're glad to hear that your home is okay, you're okay, but can you walk us through what happened when you realized you had to evacuate? Welcome to City News at 6. I'm Nima Rajan, and it's the night Taylor Swift fans have been waiting for here in Vancouver and the end of a historic tour for the megastar. The sparkles and friendship bracelets have officially hit BC Place, and tonight we have full team coverage for you. Joining us from inside the fenced area at BC Place is our Lauren Stallone, and outside the SkyTrain, our Cecilia Hua. Cecilia will have the latest on all the transportation, but right now Lauren is with the thousands of fans at the stadium. So Lauren, how are the Swifties feeling tonight? Now, before Copa America kicked off, not many thought Canada would become the big story of the tournament, but that's exactly what happened. The Canadian men's team are taking on Argentina in tonight's semifinal. Our Joe Sadowski is downtown at one of the many watch parties tonight. So, Joe, how's it going so far for Canadian soccer fans?
If Edmonton loses this series against Vancouver, I will not be issuing a retraction. Reporting from Edmonton, Darcy Ropchan, City News.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree there, Darcy. Thanks for that. All right, Vancouver's news is always available on the radio with City News 1130, online anytime at citynews.ca and City News 24/7, now streaming on Rogers Ignite Channel 100 and Amazon Prime. Your next edition of City News is tonight at 11. We'll see you then, but for now, have a great night.